So we are talking about a stock which not only has an amazing future, but is one of the more stable companies. If a company can maintain a respectable 20% drop, I cannot believe I'm saying respectable 20% drop, but especially given the market conditions, then we have to admit that this is one of the good companies. No, I'm not talking about the stock that will 10x from here, but this will be one of those stocks that will give you consistent gains in the coming years. I never say years and years because landscape can change in a second. We have so many analysts came out and revised their estimates in the last 2 weeks, and one thing is very clear, that it's very important to book your profit. So watch this video with that intention. So let me share my screen and give you some details about this stock. So we are talking about AMD, and AMD, of course, as we know, is a chip maker, one of the most important companies as we get into 2022. So AMD has been one of those stocks which never was that exciting, but was always in my radar just because of the use cases. And now it's given that they are one of those companies that will have a solid growth. So let's dive into some technical stuff here. So this is a chart of AMD going back to July, and you can see very clearly that as use cases for semiconductors, use cases for chips have increasing and the supply chain issues are also increasing, the price of AMD have skyrocketed since then. But coming from all-time high, going back down to about 20%, which is 20% drop, where the majority of the stock have dropped almost 30-40%. So this is really respectable. And then after that, market recovered a little bit and we saw about 7% gain from on AMD, which is of course very exciting given what's going on in the market. Everybody is freaking out, everybody is taking profit, but this stock has maintained, and you can see RSI is also very respectable around 50. So this stock has been maintaining and holding the ground very well. Now this is the chart, and as we know, company is not the stock and stock is not the company, but financial says a lot about the company. So let's take a look at the financials, and I will point out one thing which will tell you the whole story about a company and how to spot the future of any company. I will also compare AMD with Nvidia and Tesla. So take a look here. This is the financials of AMD right here. Yep, this is clear enough. So the chart over here, we will come back to this later, but I want to bring your attention to this. So this is cash from operating activities and this is free cash flow. Pay attention to the free cash flow part between 2019 and 2020. So Nvidia has about 276 million of free cash flow in 2019. In 2020, they have about 777 million, which is about 181% increase year over year. Now, take a look over here in 2021 that they are expecting the free cash flow from AMD, 2.96 billion, 281% from year over year. This is really exciting and very bullish for a company to be holding or to have this kind of free cash flow. Now we are talking about the operating expense or cash from operating activities. If you can see over here, we have about 493 million in 2019. Then it went up to 1.07 billion in 2020. And then in 2021, we have about 3.25 billion, which is cash from operating activities, which is of course an amazing number if you compare the growth that they have seen year over year. Now let's compare one thing with Tesla right here. So this is Tesla chart, and the line that you see is investment, or it says cash from investing activities. So this is the cash, or this is the money that they are using to invest back in the company. And if you pay attention to the graph here, and this is Tesla, so this is of course the numbers are bigger here. This is 4 billion, not 1 billion or anything. This is 4 billion. So as you can see, starting 2013 or even before that, starting 2014, this is 2015 actually, 2014, you can see that Tesla has been using the cash from investing activities is in negative. That means they're putting more and more money back into the company. And then in 2018, 2019, and then 2020, we know that they were putting a lot of money in, of course, Giga Texas, Giga Berlin, and this was huge number. Now pay attention to the Nvidia's chart right here. So this is Nvidia. So they were not investing that heavily in the company all the way through about 2018. Then in 2018, they started to invest a little bit into the company, and then 2019 was not that big of a year for them. In 2020, they invested close to about $2.1 billion back into the company, which is really exciting. And that's why Nvidia has gained so much traction, and of course, so many more analysts are covering Nvidia because they are seeing the future of where they are headed. Now pay attention to AMD. AMD, of course, didn't invest much in 2015, 2016. They were a good company. They've been a very stable company. But then in 2018 and 2019, they started to invest into the company. In 2020, they invested close to $1 billion back into the business. So now one thing is very clear. Anytime you see so much investment going back into the company, you know that the company is serious about expansion and growth. We are going to see some major growth from this chip maker in the coming years, and for many reasons. Let me go over a few very quickly. So this is a chart of of, or this is a world map of Nvidia's presence, and I will try to make it as clear as possible. So this over here is their headquarters. This is their distribution center right here. This is North America presence. Not much, only 2 places over here. Then if you come to Asia, they have many R&D and distribution centers in China, almost 1, 2, 3 right here, then 1 in Malaysia, 4, but in North America, they have very limited plant. So I feel all the money that they're investing back, they are looking at opening some of the R&D and distribution facility in Europe and also more presence in North America because of the EV makers, because of the chips being used in everything from smartphones to the cars. They see the need of how strong the growth is or the market is. So I think with the money that they're spending, their R&D centers in China and in Asia and of course in Malaysia area, and then we have some in North America, but they're lacking a presence in European countries, which I think they will be very, very serious about opening. So one thing is very clear, that AMD is serious about the future, and especially their acquisition of Xilinx, which is also very exciting, as I have been a shareholder of Xilinx for a long time. I bought the shares back in 2018, 2019, and I still hold them. So that means I'll end up owning more of AMD, which I would love to. I hope I was able to provide you some value. If you like the video, then consider subscribing. Thank you for joining. Always a pleasure. Until next time, you all have a sparkling day.